Have you ever had a moment when you were telling the truth, something very important, and the people in the room just didn't want to hear it? And not because it wasn't true, but because they were not ready for it. There is a brilliant scene in Don't Look Up that shows exactly how this happens. Let's look at it. Hi, my name is Christina and welcome to my channel. In this series, I break down scenes from films and look at human behavior behind them. I'm not talking about the cinematography, not the technical stuff, but what these scenes reveal about people. And today we are looking at Don't Look Up. Amazing cast. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, my favorite Meryl Streep. A quick context to those who haven't watched the movie. It's about two scientists discovering a comet that will destroy Earth, and they will try to warn the world. And instead of urgency, the whole thing becomes just an entertainment. But the film is actually less about the end of the world, much more about how humans react to uncomfortable truth. The scene I want to break down, honestly, this might be the most important meeting in this character's entire life. They are in White House, meeting with the president, and look at Randall here, the character played by DiCaprio. Observe his body, how nervous he is. Just anxious even. He's barely breathing, right? He's mumbling to himself, and he is using a very technical language, big words, language that someone outside of the science probably cannot understand, right? He's flipping through the pages, nervous. Look at who he's talking to. He's talking to the President of the United States, played by Meryl Streep. A very busy person. She's constantly rushing. She probably doesn't even want to be in this meeting.
Tell me about it, and then tell me why you're telling me about it. You got 20 minutes.
She's constantly distracted and already impatient. Now, this might look exaggerated, of course, because it's a movie, it's drama, but this situation is incredibly common in real life. Someone who is very passionate, presenting a very important idea, for example, a startup pitch to investors, creative pitch to producers, a presentation to your boss, or like in this case, literally the end of the world. And here's where things start to fall apart. And it's not because Randall is wrong, but because of how he communicates the truth. Look at his body language. He's basically having a panic attack. He's not breathing, his shoulders are tense, he's shaking his leg, he's sweating, his throat is dry, he's coughing a little bit. By the way, it's beautifully played by DiCaprio. All the small details, right, captured in close-ups, shots, beautiful camera work as well. And one thing he actually does right through the meeting, he maintains eye contact with the president, and that's good. But guys, eye contact alone is not enough. And that's exactly why quick media training or short public speaking courses usually don't solve the problem, because you have to dive deeper. Because communication is not just about technique, where to look, how to look. It's about your state of being. And now watch the second mistake. As he becomes more nervous, he's flipping through his pages in his notebook and using complicated scientific terminology.
From the Oort cloud, and using Gauss's method of orbital determination and the average astrometric uncertainty of 0.04.
And it almost looks like he expects everyone in the room to understand it. And this is a very common mistake. I see it all the time with people from finance or business backgrounds, especially people who studied in MBA programs. They're smart, they're knowledgeable, but they assume that everyone understands their professional language. And that's not true, that's a mistake. Unless someone is from your field, never assume they speak your language and they understand the terminology of the area that you worked in. And now look at the president. This moment is, I swear, so subtle, I actually missed it in the first time. Watch this. She checks her watch and very quickly hides it behind touching her hair. That's why Meryl Streep is a goddess of acting. How she plays this little detail, but how much information there, right? It's an important communication rule. When you're pitching something important, you have to read the room, observe the person you're speaking to. Are they listening? She's not. She's looking at her watch. She wants to go. Are they losing interest? You have to observe to see if they're already mentally gone. Because it's not just enough to know what you want to say. You need to see if what you're saying is actually landing. And look at the assistant.
You're breathing weird. It's making me uncomfortable.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying.
He's bored. He's actually saying, I am bored. Basically, there's a lot of pressure in this room. Now, Kate steps in, the character played by Jennifer Lawrence. She takes control and she kind of translates the scientific language into something very simple.
What Dr. Mindy is trying to say is that there's a comet headed directly towards Earth.
She's more direct, more clear, and interestingly, she actually appears calmer. Even though earlier in the film we see she's smoking a lot of weed and taking Xanax. Probably not the healthiest coping mechanism. And now look at this tiny moment. Just a few seconds, right? But it completely establishes the status dynamic in the room. The president looks down at Kate's shoes. Just a split of a second. She's judging her appearance here. Kate is wearing boots, right, and casual clothes. She looks like a punk. The president is wearing a perfectly tailored suit, very formal, very high status. And immediately, in the president's mind, Kate and Randall appear lower status. She doesn't trust them. Because first impression matter. How you present yourself visually affects how people perceive you, whether we like it or not, but that's the truth. And now just imagine a different scenario. Same information, same message, but different delivery. Imagine they walked into the White House calm, wearing a proper clothing, grounded, breathing slowly, deeper, speaking clearly, using simple language that anyone can understand, but speaking with confidence and certainty. Immediately the room would perceive them differently, more professional, more trustworthy. But instead, Kate becomes very aggressive. She pushes the truth onto people who first question it and second don't even want to hear it. Another very common mistake, by the way. You cannot convince someone through aggression. Pressure rarely creates persuasion. And immediately look at the president's body language. She moves back, her body kind of closes. She's done basically with them. She already made up her mind. It's a defensive mechanism, right? Defensive reaction. So how do you break through that? Definitely not by scaring the other person, right? You have to make them feel that you're on the same page, that you're not enemies. Also look at the president as a character. She is a woman who is burnt out. She's just tired. Everyone constantly needs something from her. She even asks, right? Like, okay, what's the ask? She expects exactly that. She already knows that people gonna ask something from her and she's tired. And look at the moment. She almost desperately reaches for something, to relax. In this case, is a cigarette. So now let's jump to another moment. Their first TV interview. Hilarious. The scene is not only funny, it's fascinating. They're pretending to be okay, but they're completely out of their bodies. They're panicking. Kate's hearing becomes muffled.
So much.
Dr. Randall, you'll regret it. Now look, Jax is having some fun here with the aliens.
Dr. Randall gives this very stiff smile. Basically, they're trying to fake it till you make it, right? Fake calmness and confidence, but their bodies tell the truth. And it also happens because they want to be liked. They want to appear composed, especially after the disaster of the meeting with the president, right? But instead, they're still tense. They're still nervous, not breathing, not in contact with their bodies. And you can see it immediately. And then what Kate does, she explodes.
When we're all 100% for sure gonna fucking die!
For her, the truth is so obvious. It's so on the nose. She genuinely cannot understand why others don't see it, goddammit, right? It drives her nuts. It feels like everyone else lives in a completely different universe. But instead of connecting with the audience, she scares them. And she immediately loses the room. Her emotions are so big that she cannot contain them. She's scared. And look at Randall here. Oh my God, this is hilarious. Like, look at his mouth. It's completely dry, his lips. Beautiful makeup, by the way. You can literally see the stress. And this is actually the core message of the movie, right? Being right is not enough. Truth alone doesn't guarantee influence. If you cannot manage your state, if you cannot hold your energy, control your emotions, guide your emotions, accept your emotions, if you cannot communicate clearly, someone else will reshape the narrative. And that's why Don't Look Up is such an interesting movie. Because it's not really about the end of the world, it's about people and about how uncomfortable truth travels in the world, even nowadays, right? The world that prefers comfort. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Let me know in the comments what you think about this scene and the film. And if you like this kind of analysis of human behavior through movies, please share the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys. Bye-bye. See you.